Hi Year 7s, today I'm going to show you your second production, and we're learning how to use the oven today. So all your ovens at home are going to be different to mine and different to the one at school, I'm assuming. So we'll do the best we can, but you might have to get mum or dad to show you how to light your oven or turn it on or set it, okay? So I have tied my hair back, kind of, washed my hands and popped an apron on, okay? And that's always important to keep dirt off your food and food off you, okay? So today we're going to be making pizza scrolls, which are basically a scone dough that we roll out into a rectangle and put all yummy flavorings in, like tomato paste, ham, grated cheese, and then we roll it up and slice it and bake it. So it's very delicious. So come with me and I'll show you all the ingredients that we need. We have some ham, some cheese that we'll grate up, some red capsicum, we've got pepper and salt, and we've got some oregano here, which is a really good pizza herb. We've got some tomato paste, self-raising flour, butter, and milk. So we've got 3/4 of a cup of milk, 60 grams of butter, which is 1/4 cup. We're going to use 2 cups of self-raising flour, a couple of tablespoons of tomato paste, 1/4 capsicum, 2 slices of ham, and I can't remember what the recipe says. I think it's 1/2 cup of grated cheese. So we're going to get ready and start preparing our ingredients. I just checked the recipe and it's 3/4 cup of cheese. Now you don't want to stinge on cheese. So I've got a grater here and my block of cheese. I'm just going to grate some up. Put a bit of muscle in there. Okay, now I think this is probably about 3/4 cup. You can measure it, or there's never too much cheese, I say. Okay, be careful of your fingers here. I'm going to pop my cheese over to one side, put my grater in the sink. Now I have a big chopping knife here, which is really good to do our ham. So I'm just going to roll the ham up like that. I hope you can see properly. And just slice it. Put my hand in a bear claw so you don't get your fingers. It's pretty easy to slice the ham. I've got really nice ham off the bone. You can use anything. You can put bacon if you've got bacon, or you put chorizo sausage. Okay, I'm going to turn my chopping board around so you can see me with this. Okay, I'm now going to chop up this nice and slice the capsicum and chop it up into a small dice. And we've got our ingredients pretty much ready now. Okay, my daughter just walked past and said, Mum, you gotta put some olives in this. So I have some olives in the fridge. You either love olives or hate them, but I'm just gonna tear some olives up. And we love them in our house, nice and salty. Who doesn't like salty stuff? But I challenge you, if you don't like olives, I challenge you to try them and try them and try them again until you do like them, because that's what I did when I was younger. Okay, so we now have some olives, capsicum, ham and cheese. On to the next part. Okay, so now I've got my self-raising flour, which is plain flour with baking powder in it. So what does the baking powder do you think? I know you guys know, I'm going to tell you anyway. It makes the dough rise. Okay, so I'm going to put in 2 cups. Now it's good to sift it. So I forgot to get a sifter, so I'm just going to get a sifter. Now, sifting does 2 things. It puts, aerates it, and also get any of the lumps out that might be in it. So we need 2 cups. Now make sure that they are full cups, because you don't want to put 3/4 of a cup in and then you have too much, your things are too runny. Okay, so we've got in a nice big bowl, we have got 2 cups of sifted flour. Now I've got some butter here that's kind of softish, and it's 1/4 cup or 60 grams. I'm going to put this in, and if you guys have ever made scones before, we are going to rub it into the flour until it kind of has a, it's like a sand kind of, or a grainy kind of appearance, okay? And there's no big lumps of butter in it. So we just will rub that through until it's nicely done. Don't clump it together like this. Use your fingertips when you do this. We have now rubbed it all together, so you've got a nice grainy, finely grainy mixture of butter and flour. Now comes the messy part. Some people don't like doing this part, but I like it. Now, I do this with my hands. You could do it with a spoon or a knife. We've got 3/4 cup of milk, and pour it in. Then I'm just going to, around the outside, just bring the dry flour into the wet ingredients, the milk. Okay, we bring it together. Now it's really important now not to overwork it, because otherwise we get a really hard dough. You just want a really nice soft dough that just comes together. Now you get lots of lots of dough on your hands, but just do this, rub them together till they come off. And then I'm just going to sprinkle some flour onto my bench top and bring this all out and bring it into a nice dough. Just knead it slightly. As I said, we don't want to knead it too much. Make sure you working in a clean area. Okay, so now's the fun part. We are going to roll our dough out, basically a scone dough, as I said, out into a rectangle of measuring about 20 by 30. Now it's really important that you have it in a rectangle shape, because then you can get a long, like a sushi roll, I guess it is, but now it is kind of hard. Make sure you've got enough flour on it so it doesn't get sticky. Now we're going to get 12 scrolls out of this, so we want to make sure that it's all ready to go. So go one way, another way. Okay, so I think that's pretty good. Okay, now what we're going to do now, I think the recipe says, what does it say? 2 tablespoons of tomato paste. 1, 2. And just with the back of just a normal dessert spoon, do this and spread it over. You want to make sure that you get enough over the whole lot of it. I'm going to put a tiny bit more. Now if you liked chili, you could put chili in this too, because it would be delicious. Okay, put this. Now I'm going to put some oregano, which is the secret herb when you get margaritas at the pizza shop. Okay, got that. Some salt, because I didn't put any salt in the dough. You can. And some pepper. Now I'm going to start layering the ingredients that we prepared earlier. Now I don't want to put it all over the whole surface, because I want to be able to leave a strip down here that will join up our scroll. So I put the ham and some capsicum, olives, yum, looks good. I'll use all those ingredients. And now, not all the cheese, because we're going to put some cheese on the top when we roll it up. Now, here comes the next part that's really important. Okay, we are now going to roll it. Now, it's really important that you do roll it. You don't fold it over each other, because you want to make sure it's all tucked in. So I'm going to pinch it. See how I'm pinching it along and rolling it. Now, once we get over to this part, you want to tuck it up under like a sushi roll. Okay. Just clean that up a bit. Now I've got a fantastic roll there. Okay, we are going to grab a tray with baking paper that we prepared earlier and our knife. And I'm going to cut it directly in the middle. Then on each side, middle again. Then now we've got quarters. We're going to cut each of those quarters into half. So I said 12. 8. I don't know what I was thinking. I guess you probably could get 12 if you wanted, but you don't want them too thin. Now I'm going to, I'll bring this over so you can see. I'm going to pop them onto a tray. Now put them close together because they will expand as they cook, and then that's why it's called a pull-apart pizza. Now I've just flattened them off a bit. Now we're going to get a pastry brush and brush it with some milk, and that will make it go nice and golden. Okay, just going to brush it with some milk. Don't flood it though. You don't want it flooded. So the protein in the milk works with in the flour, the fat, and it makes it go nice and glossy. Now it doesn't matter if you don't put this on, but it won't give you a nice golden glossy kind of finish. Okay, and last but not least, I'm just going to pop a little bit of cheese on the top of each one. That will be totally delicious. So they're ready now to go into the oven. I've set the oven at 220, and they're going to go into the oven for about 20-25 minutes depending on your oven, but also just make sure you keep checking them, and you want them to be nice and golden brown, not burnt. Okay, so I'm going to pop these over into the oven now. It's a really good idea to set a timer on your oven, because there's many a times when I put things in the oven and go off and think of and do something else and think about other things, and then go, oh, I've left something in the oven. So make sure you put a timer on your phone or your watch if you've got a digital watch, and so then it gives you a beep beep so when it's ready. So 20 minutes, and then check, but then it might need another 5 minutes. So we're just waiting for the timer to go off, and we've got a couple more minutes, and about actually 30 seconds, and then I will check them and see if they're okay. We're just the headless cook. Okay, 10 seconds to go. Okay. Now they look really delicious. I'm going to pop them straight onto the chopping board like that. And then you can see, we look down here, you can pull them apart. That's why we've called them pizza pull aparts. Clean them up a bit, and they look absolutely delicious. And they look delicious, straight out of the oven, ready to eat. Well, good luck with that, guys. Hopefully you can get the ingredients to make them next week. Yeah, we'll talk about that tomorrow in class.